fellow champions, I hope that you are doing wonderful and you're healthy, you're happy and everything good. And I welcome you all to PU2 Brahmastra series, where today we are going to talk about biology chapter, that is evolution. And I think you can see the change. We are not in the uniform, or basically I am not in the uniform because it's kind of cold in Bengaluru. But if you are also in Bangalore and you are studying right now, I would not recommend you to study inside the blanket. You have to get out, sit somewhere really nice and then only start studying. And also taking 30 seconds of your time to just appreciate your efforts by answering the questions in the live session that happened previously in the PU2 Brahmastra series for biology, my chapter. So I was kind of really happy seeing you participate. I remember a few names. I might be wrong while pronouncing it, but still, Gulsita or Gulista, and then Casts, Lover, Revu, something like that, and then we had Riyaz. Okay, so all the children, okay, all the other people who also didn't write the answer but have participated, I feel so proud of you guys. It feels so good to see our efforts being used. Okay, so we are putting our efforts, but we also want to know whether you are utilizing those things as well. And I was really happy seeing your efforts put in there. So continue doing that, my dear children. And if you think that this video is really nice, ma'am is teaching nice, tell me in the comment section. If you think that ma'am is not teaching nice, tell me in the comment section. I will improve. I will definitely improve. That's my promise. But yes, you have to participate. You have to tell me. Even if it's wrong answer, it's totally fine. I will correct it. That's my job. I will definitely do that. Yeah? Works? So let's be in that mood and let's get into this chapter. Let's see how many questions this chapter has to offer. So there will be 7 marks given up by this particular chapter up over here, and there are 3 blueprints according to your PU2 board that was given by the government. So according to 3 of them, there will be 2 1-marker question, there will be 1 2-marker question, and there will be 1 3-marker question, my dear children. So you cannot expect a 5-marker question coming from this chapter, so do not prepare yourself like that. Okay, so prepare accordingly. These are the questions that would be coming. And before going ahead with the class, so there is a PU2 success blueprint test series going to happen. Okay, so the enrollment have already started. The first test series would be coming on 15th of December 2024. Mark your calendars, 15th of December 2024. Okay, and what all will be there in this test series? There will be 12 mock tests, and in that 12 mock tests, 4 of them will be part tests. That means in a paper there will be questions from different subjects as well. Okay, and there will be 8 full-length question papers. That is, for example, one question paper will be there for one particular subject, such as physics or probably chemistry or probably bio and things like that. So there is physics, chemistry, mathematics, and along with that, if you want to choose biology, you can choose that, or if you want to choose CS, computer science, you can choose that as well. Now, do not worry, it's not just the test series or basically the question paper that we would be giving you. We would be providing you the video solutions as well, and if possible, okay, if you need it, we would be definitely clarifying your doubts as well. Now, this is a paid course, okay? You need to pay 599 rupees for this particular thing. Now, if you are someone who is interested, there is a link given in the description box. You can click on that. Works. Chalo. The number of questions that today we would be discussing would be 12 1-marker question, 5 2-marker question, 4 3-marker questions. So let's begin without any delay. The first question says P plus Q whole square is equals to P square plus 2PQ plus Q square. This represents an equation used in what? This equation, children, always remember, comes under Hardy-Weinberg's principle. Hardy-Weinberg's principle, and according to it, okay, Hardy-Weinberg said that basically the gene pool in a population, okay, the gene pool in a population as in, for example, I have a gene that is capital T, I have a gene that is small t, okay, the frequency of this gene or probably this particular gene will be stable or will be constant generations after generation. So the parents, they breed, they give offsprings, they will be breeding, they will also give their offspring. So throughout the generation, he said the frequency of these genes would be the same. The alleles that you see over here, it would be the same. But is it actually true? Do you think that frequency remains the same? No, children. We all are kind of different. Generation after generation, the frequency kind of changes because of lots and lots of reasons. So this is not entirely true. But this was said by Hardy-Weinberg's principle. Okay, it was according to Hardy-Weinberg's principle, and according to him, he used a method to show it, okay, or basically he tried to denote it with this particular equation. Okay, he said that we can basically find the frequency of a gene with the help of this particular equation. That is P plus Q whole square. This will be frequency of one allele. This will be the frequency of another allele. Okay, now when you open this particular equation, okay, what do you get? P plus Q whole square is just like A plus B whole square that you might have learned in mathematics, a little bit of mathematics again over here. Biology teacher runs away from mathematics, but somehow it comes again. So it can be expanded like P square plus 2PQ plus Q square. So suppose I want to know the allelic frequency of capital T, so I will say it is denoted by P. I want to know the allelic frequency of small t, so it will be denoted by Q. Okay, the recessive one always is denoted by Q and the dominant one is denoted by P. Fine. Now, I know the number that basically P is equals to 0.3. Okay, and here Q is equals to 0.7. This is the thing. Okay, this is the frequency that I already have. Now, I want to see how many of them are homozygotes, how many of them basically have this frequency and how many of them have this frequency and how many of them have this frequency. How can I basically find that out? So, for finding that out, I have to put this in the equation. For P, I have to put 0.3 whole square. Okay, so that means I am talking about capital T, capital T. So this will be giving me the frequency of people who are having this much. So this becomes what? 0.3 whole square becomes 0.9. So this is the frequency of people who are having capital T, capital T. Okay. Now the frequency of the recessive one, let me find that. For that, it's 0.7 raised to the power whole square. So it will be what? 0.49. Okay, this will be what? 0.49. That will be the frequency over here. Now, over here again, I want to find the frequency of capital T, small t. For that, what will I do? I have to mix P and Q. So 2 into 0.3 into 0.7. Whatever comes will be what? The frequency of organisms that would be having this. Cool. So this shows population genetics, my dear children. Hardy-Weinberg law is for population genetics. He said in the population, the allelic frequency would be always constant or stable generations after generation. But apparently this was wrong. Okay, this wasn't obviously true in all the cases because lots and lots of things happened. Okay, some organisms, they moved out from here. There are new organisms that came in. There are new alleles that came in along with it. So all those things happened. Okay, so that is a different story, but yes, this equation is for population genetics. This is a model question, paper question again. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. Match the type of man with their origin periods and choose the correct answer. So we have column 1. In column 1 we have Brahmastra, Australopithecus, Homo erectus, Neanderthal man, and you might be some confused like, ma'am, what is happening? I'm not able to understand anything. It's easy, trust me. So there is a class that I took. Where is that thing? I took a class on this, okay, in the NEET series where I was talking about a lot of things. So first thing that you have to remember is, first came Dryopithecus and Brahmastra. And this happened almost I'll say 15 million years ago. How many? 15. It's not 16, it's 15 million years ago they came. And they were having like ape-like features. Okay, they were having ape-like features where they were not able to walk like this like us. Basically, they used their hind limb, forelimb and stuff like that, and they walked like that. So Dryopithecus were the one that gave rise to apes and monkeys later on, but Brahmastra were the ones that gave rise to humans later on. But it was not a one-step process that happened over here. And why is ma'am explaining everything over here? Because this is a 3-mark question also. You would be seeing that question again. Okay. So basically, over here, Brahmastra was the one that gave rise to human beings. But as I said, it was not a one-step process. So this happened 15 million years ago, right? But 3.4 million years ago, from Brahmastra came the next guy, which was what? Australopithecus. Okay, which was what? Australopithecus. 3 to 4 million years ago. So we know one thing, that Brahmastra, how can I? Okay, wait. Rather than doing this, I can just say Brahmastra, it is 15 million years ago. Okay, and then came Australopithecus, which came almost 3 to 4 million years ago. So that is sorted. Now, going ahead, what happened? From here came Homo habilis. From here came Homo habilis, And Homo habilis was the first hominid. That means it had the human-like features. But the brain capacity was kind of very less. The brain capacity was 650 to 800 cc. That is the cranial capacity or the brain capacity that it had. And human beings as of now, you see, they are non-vegetarians, they are vegetarians and stuff like that. But then Homo habilis, the first human-like features organism that came in, did not eat meat, rather than they ate fruits. And they were essentially the tool makers and people like that. Okay, so Homo habilis came almost how many years ago, children? If this was 3.4 million years ago, they came around 1.5 million years ago. Okay, not 1.5 million years ago, I will say, that is gone. I would say 2 million years ago. Then over here, they came around 1.5 million years ago. Fine. Okay, here the Australopithecus, if you say 650 to 800 is the cranial capacity over here, but here it was 500 cc. So each of their feature you have to remember. First came 500 cc, then their brain capacity kind of increased. Now it is 650 to 800 cc. Okay, they ate fruits, they didn't eat meat, they were tool makers, and when they ate fruits and everything, their brain capacity slowly increased. You can think like that. Then came the next guy, that is Homo erectus. Here the brain capacity increased to 900 cc, and they were the people who were eating meat. They have started eating meat, and they were also known as Java men, because all this was happening in Africa. But few of these organisms, they went to different regions like China, Philippines and stuff like that. And the people who found there, in Philippines, you have a place that is known as Java. So which is why this Java men came. Okay, the term came in. So they kind of moved around to different places. Who were their children? They were Homo erectus. They were Homo erectus. And when did you find Homo erectus? 1.5 million years ago. Here 2 million years ago. Here 3.4 million years ago. Now we are coming closer. Okay, so the distance would be lesser than us, right? Now Homo erectus, no, they went in to Europe regions. Some of them, they went into Europe regions and they kind of developed over there. So they were Homo neanderthalensis. Okay, and we would say that about 1 lakh to 40,000 years ago they came in. 1 lakh to 40,000 years, which is not very long. Okay, it is actually long, but not comparatively longer like this. Okay, so 1 lakh to 40,000 years ago you saw them. And then their brain capacity, you see, it was 900 over here, but it became 1400 cc over here. And they were the people who protected their body, who covered their body, who used to bury their relatives and stuff like that. Okay, they used to bury their dead. So this was Homo neanderthalensis, who went around Europe. But some of them, they stayed in Africa itself, and they were known as the modern day Homo sapiens. They were known as the modern day Homo sapiens, and they came around 75,000 to 40,000 years ago. Okay, this was a time period. So time period is getting less. So we are basically coming under this particular category. So in between them there is something else also which is not mentioned in your NCERT, so we don't have to remember. Homo erectus basically became something else, and from there came the 2 branches. So over here, first is 15 million years ago, that is what? Your Ramapithecus and Dryopithecus. Okay, and then over here 3.3 to 4 million years ago you have Australopithecus. Then 2 million years ago you have Homo habilis. Hey, Habibi. Okay, the first Habibi came over there in 2 million years ago, and then 1.5 million years ago came Homo erectus, which started eating meat and everything. They were known as Java men. Again, some of them went to Europe. You have Homo neanderthalensis, and then they were kind of emotional beings. They used to bury their dead relatives and stuff like that. Okay, their brain capacity also really increased. Watch, it was 1400 cc, which was kind of very much. Okay, and parallelly one more thing was happening. Some years later, that is almost around 75,000 to 40,000 years later, Homo sapiens, modern day Homo sapiens, also kind of evolved. That happened in Africa. Works? So this is the chart. You have to remember the years and also their features. Cool, children? Remember Homo habilis. Habibi came first, they didn't eat meat. Then erectus. Then this. Chalo. Now, so, okay. Over here, Homo erectus, tell me the answer. Homo erectus came 1.5 million years ago. Neanderthal men, when did they came, children? 1 lakh to 40,000 years back. So what is your answer? The first one goes with 2. The first one goes with 2. Okay, there is only one option with 2, so I will eliminate this, and this. Let's see. B with 4. B is with 4. B is with 4. How can that be true? Just give me a second. There is some mistake. B is with 4. okay, and C is with 1 and D is with 3. Australopithecus, probably there's 3 options, so I think, okay, there are 2 options given over here, so I think they have taken the closest option. Anyways, for all the other options this becomes correct, so this is the answer. So apart from this thing B, for B I will say it was 3 million years ago, 3 to 4 million years ago, but since there is no option we cannot question it. Okay, I can try to make it 5 over here. I think that works. Okay, so apart from that everything is correct. So there is an extra option, I think they came to confuse you guys only. So now it is exactly correct. Okay, now let's go ahead. Chalo. Ayo, yeah. Which of the following is used as an industrial pollution indicator? Not indicated, indicator. So there is pollution happening, there should be one organism that could indicate it, and that one organism is what? Lichen. So lichen is an association of alga and fungus. So over here what happens is that lichen would not be growing in areas where the pollution is way too much. Okay, where there is too much amount of pollution, they won't be growing there. That is the unique thing about what? Basically lichens. So they are kind of, I can say that they are what? Pollution indicators. They are what, children? Pollution indicators. So over here I'll write lichen. Okay, and you might have studied about this in natural selection. In natural selection. So this is March 2023 question, where it was seen that plants, okay, there were 2 types of plants. Over here we had plants like this, and over here we had plants like this. This is before industrialization, before industries and everything were formed, and this is after. So before industrialization the plants were kind of, the bark had white color thingy, and what was this white color thingy? This was what, children? Lichen. But after industrialization you could not see them over here. That means they are not going to grow in area where there is too much amount of pollution happening. So this becomes your answer. Cool. Now the next thing, evolutionary convergence is characterized by, what do you mean by convergence? Convergence basically means if this is a point, everyone is coming to this point. This is known as convergence. Now evolutionary convergence means there is a type of evolution which is known as convergent evolution. Convergent evolution happens when different organisms, okay, different organisms, they come together, show similar features. Different organisms are coming together to show similar features because their habitat requires so. For example, there is air. In the air, okay, in the air butterflies fly. You know butterflies fly, and then you have birds which fly. Butterfly is just an insect. Bird is a very big animal, right? Bird and butterfly are 2 different organisms which do not share an immediate common ancestry, do not have a common ancestor. Immediate common ancestor is not there in them. So they are totally different type of organisms. One is an insect, other one is coming under Animalia category, okay. Not an Animalia category, basically both of them come under Animalia category, but one is basically a vertebrate, other one is what? Basic. This is a vertebrate and this is what? An invertebrate, does not have vertebral column. So still both of them have wings. Both of them have wings because their habitat is like that. What is their habitat? Their habitat is basically air. They have to fly, for that they have wings. So convergent evolution is when there is a habitat which is forcing you to have similar features, but you do not have any common ancestry. You don't have any common ancestry. This is known as convergent evolution. So development of dissimilar characters in closely related groups, no. You want similar character. Development of common set of characteristics in groups of different ancestry, yes. Development of common set of characters in group of what? Different. They do not have a common ancestor. So different ancestry. But let's see the other options as well. Development of characters by random mating, no. Replacement of common characters in different groups, no. So this becomes your answer, that is development of a common set of characteristics in group of different ancestry. Works? Cool? Chalo. This is an example of convergent evolution, please remember that. And these organs, no, these type of organs which is there, which do not have any anatomical structure similar. You know, wing of the butterfly is like papery. But over here in the bird, they have feathers and they have a lot of bones and stuff like that. It is not entirely similar. So what do you call these type of organs as? You call them analogous. Analogous organs. So organisms that show convergent evolution would be having analogous organs. Cool? AC, we need AC, you can remember like that. Now, replacement of lighter colored variety of peppered moth to its darker variety in England is an example of. So, I'll tell you a story. Okay, this is the same story that I was saying before industrialization and stuff like that. So, before lots and lots of years, okay, there was no industrialization happening. There was no industries being made up there. The air was really, really fresh. At this time, there came a moth, okay, which was white in color. Okay, and this moth's name was Biston betullaria. The white ones, they have a name. Peppered moth is the actual name. The scientific name is what? Biston betullaria. And then there was another moth which was black in color. They were what? Black in color. Now, before industrialization, the plants which were like this, they had white covering because of what? Because of something that is known as lichen. Now, lichen was totally white. Lichen was totally white. If on this white colored bark, a white moth comes and sits over here, will you be able to see them? So, the organism which feeded on the moth, it came in search of the moth and it was not able to find the white ones. So, the white ones, they survived. So, the first rank came for the white ones. Okay, the black ones which were there, they were easily standing out over here. They were easily standing out over here. They were easily able to be spotted by the predators, so they were eaten up. So, their amount became really less. Their amount became really less. But what happened? There's a twist that happened. So, basically the white one said, you think you could compete with me? Huh? So, the karma, as you know, it shows its effect later on. So, when it was after industrialization era, okay, when the trees and everything got really bad and damaged and stuff like that, over here the lichens went off. The lichens went off. There were no lichens. So, there is no white background here. So, what happened was the white moth, when they came and sat, they were easily being caught up by the predators. So, they were eaten up. Whereas the black ones, if I make one over here, still you will not be able to see because they were able to camouflage themselves. So, over here, did we do something? Okay, industrialization was happened because of lots of human beings, but it was a natural thing that had to happen anytime. Okay, and I didn't go and choose this particular organism. Some predator saw it and I ate it. It ate it, right? It ate it. So, it was because of, okay, I agree that it was because of me that industrialization and stuff happened, but it was not entirely because of me that the predator was able to see this and catch hold of this. No, right? So, over here, the white ones, which were in very much huge number, got really less. Okay, got really less, whereas the black one got really high. The number of them got really high. So, replacement of the lighter colored variety of peppered moth, that is Biston betullaria, to its darker variety in England is an example of what, children? Natural selection. The nature has been selecting it. It is due to my anthropogenic activities, I do agree. Okay, it caused harm, but still it was the predator which ate it, and that was nature selection. I didn't give the predator the chance to do that. Okay, I didn't put the predator over there. So, that is the thing. So, it is an example of natural selection. This is a model question, paper question. Chalo, next question. Following diagram provides an example of what? Following diagram provides an example of what? So, there is Australian marsupials being present over here, and from there you see lots and lots of organisms are being made, and they are moving away. From this particular common ancestor, there are lots of organisms going away. So, convergence means all of them are coming together. Okay, different type of organisms are coming together. Now, from a single type of organism, if they are dividing and going into different regions, this type of evolution is known as what? This type of evolution is known as divergent evolution, the opposite of convergent. So, divergent evolution, what will happen? Basically, they will be having the same anatomical feature. They will be having the same anatomical feature. Internally, they might be having same structures and stuff like that, but they are not doing the common function over there. They do not have a common function, just like how birds and butterfly had a common function. They are not going to have. Another example, if you want, I can give. Example of mammals. So, you know cheetah, you know me, okay, you know you, okay. So, all of us, cheetah, you, me, everyone, or bat also, they are all mammals, okay. Now, all of us have radius, ulna, and all the bones over here, metacarpals, carpals, phalanges, everything, Okay, we have radius ulna, metacarpus, phalanges, everything is over there in both of us. So we share similar anatomical features, you, me, cheetah, everyone. But the cheetah is using it for running, I am using it for teaching, for eating, for doing stuff, okay. So basically this is different. My function of this particular thing is kind of different from theirs. So over there we are an example of divergent evolution. We were having a common ancestor and we kind of diverged to different areas, different habitats, okay. We have a different habitat, okay. Whereas in convergent evolution you saw there was a common habitat, that is for air, that is for flying, right. So over here this is an example of divergent evolution from a common ancestor if organisms are moving away to different locations, okay, becoming something else, but anatomically they are same. This is an example of divergent evolution, and same thing can be explained in adaptive radiation. So adaptive radiation is basically when a type of organisms are there in one particular region. Now they are moving to different regions. They are moving to different regions, okay, they are developing their features over there. This is also known as adaptive radiation. That will come up later, but please understand divergent evolution is definitely happening up over here. When you talk about a group of organisms, just a single group of organisms which are moving away like this is an example of divergent evolution. Works? Chalo. So over here from the Australian marsupials you got all of them. Now I'll tell you one more thing, but you have to promise me you won't get confused. So just like how you had Australian marsupials, you had another group of organisms, that is placental mammals. Over here itself you had placental mammals. Now placental mammals also, they also kind of moved from here to here, here to here, here to here, here to here. Okay, now we have two organisms, we have placental mammals, we have Australian marsupials. If suppose from Australian marsupials a marsupial rat was being formed, similarly marsupial rat is being formed, okay. Similarly a mouse is being formed from the placental mammal. A mouse is being formed from the placental mammal. Now do they share a common ancestry? These are two different organisms, they do not share a common ancestry. But are they staying in the same habitat? Are they staying in the same habitat? Yes. So will they have the outer features would be kind of similar in them? Yes. So what is this an example of? When both of them are coming over here, different from different ancestry, they are having similar features, external features, okay, which is letting them live over there. What is this an example of? When both of them, we are talking about both of them, this becomes an example of convergent evolution, where organisms from different ancestry are coming together in one particular habitat and having similar features, not same anatomical features. Internally they are not same, but externally they might be same. So this, when two examples are given together, just understand you are being asked about convergent evolution. But over here they didn't ask you about the placental mammals. It's just about the Australian marsupials, one group of organisms. So it becomes an example of what? Divergent evolution, my champions. Works? I hope you're understanding. If you're understanding, do let me know. If you're not understanding, also let me know. I'll try to explain you in the comment section itself. And children, I hope that you are energetic. We are studying together. I hope you're in full zeal of studying. Okay, you should be in the full zeal of studying. Now, question number 7. At a particular locus means location, frequency of allele A is 0.6. So allele A, its frequency is 0.6. And they have mentioned A as capital, so you are talking about P over here. Remember, P plus Q whole square. So this is the P, okay. And now allele small a is also there and its frequency is 0.4. So this is the frequency of Q. Now, what would be the frequency of heterozygotes in random mating? So what are you being asked? Heterozygotes. So homozygotes, what do you mean by that? Homozygotes means P square. That means you're talking about A and A coming together. Okay. That means 0.6 into 0.6. P square is equals to this. Homozygote, if you're talking about Q square, it can be this also, right? In Q square, what is happening? You are talking about small a and small a, and hence 0.4 into 0.4. But now you are asked about heterozygotes. Heterozygotes means the alleles are not same. That means you're talking about this condition, PQ. And here you in the equation, what do you have? p square plus 2pq plus q square. So this is the frequency of heterozygotes. So you have to write it like this. So this will be now the frequency of A and A. So 2 into 0.6 into 0.4. What is the answer? You have 2 into 0.24. That means it will be equal to 0.48. You got it? You are asked about heterozygotes, so just don't write 0.6 into 0.4 and come. It's 2pq, so you have to include 2 there. So this becomes your answer, my dear champions. Cool? Works? Jackass? Enjoying mathematics and biology? I don't. Now, question number 8. Match column 1 with column 2 and select the correct option from the codes given below. Okay, so I told you in Hardy-Weinberg principle, this basically is an equilibrium that is being formed. So always he says that P plus Q is equals to 1. There is an equilibrium always there. There is always an equilibrium. This particular thing will be equal to 1 always. So for example, this is 0.7, then it has to be 0.3 is equal to, it will be 0. It will be equal to what? 1. So, but the things are not like that. Allelic frequency, they kind of change every now and then. For example, I have a population over here. As I said, there is A and A. This is 0.7, this is 0.3. But some organism who had this particular A moved outside. Then what? If they moved outside, they migrated. This migration is known as what? Gene flow. Lots of migration happens, you call it gene flow. So, the person who had this particular allele, 2 or 3 of them are moving out. That means the frequency of this particular allele is changing over here. And something new is coming, so that means that frequency is being added up over here. So this obviously disturbs P plus Q is equals to 1. This will be changing now. This is not a stable thing. So there are so many things which was going against the Hardy-Weinberg law, and one is gene flow. And the other one, for example, there is some mutation happening. There is some mutation happening in the DNA such that the A allele is mutated now. The capital A allele is mutated now. So that means that particular frequency is being affected. Okay, mutated as in it can be deleted. There might be some changes happening in that particular allele. Now it is not functioning the same. The frequency of it is now difficult. It's different. So that is an example again. So mutation can be one particular reason. Mutation can be one particular reason. Gene flow is another particular reason. Now there is something that is known as genetic drift. Genetic drift. What do you mean by that? For example, there is an area over here, and in this area there are green color moth in way too much amount, and there are a few white color ones. Okay, and there is an elephant, or probably me. Imagine me as an elephant. I am walking, and I stamp on it. Somehow I stamped over here, and these guys were in too much number. These guys were the one that had capital A allele, and over here these guys the one that had small a allele. Cool. So I stamped on them. What happened, my dear children? Now the population would be like this. Now who is in more amount, children? They. What about the green ones? There might be 1 or 2 left. You get it? So this is a sudden change that happened by chance. By some chance it happened, and this is known as genetic drift. The genetic have got drifted. Okay, so these are the deviations from Hardy-Weinberg's law. Okay, there are a few more, but at least, yes. There is natural selection as well. I told you, because of something happening in the nature, some organisms were selected, some were not selected. Okay, so that is natural selection. Again, the frequency of genes, everything would be changing. So now you would be able to answer. Mutation is what? Changes in population frequencies due to chance alone? No, whenever you go by chance, it is that genetic drift. Whenever it is chance, it is genetic drift. Now gene flow, I told you, it's migration and immigration and stuff like that. So it is immigration, that means something new comes in. Emigration, when something goes out, changes the allelic frequency. This is the answer. Now, natural selection is what, children? Natural selection is differences in survival and reproduction among the variant individuals. Yeah, there will be differences. For example, I have A organism, I have B organism. This A organism has some variations which let me survive. For example, the white moth was able to survive because it was white. Okay, then the black one was able to survive because it was black later on. So this is nature selecting it because of its variation that is inbuilt in them. So that is natural selection. Now what are we left with? Are we done with everything? Yeah, mutation. Mutation will be what? Source of new alleles. Mutation, any changes that is happening is going to bring out something really new, my dear children. So with this we say, let's see. So mutation goes with 4. Mutation goes with 4. So this and this option I have. Rest of them let's eliminate. Okay, next, gene flow is going with immigration, emigration, yeah, okay. Natural selection is going with 2. Natural selection is going with 2. Okay, and genetic drift is going with 1. So this becomes your answer, my darling children. I hope you are getting your answers correct as well. Okay, I will be seeing it. As I said, I will be joining the live session. I would be commenting there, okay, whenever I see it. Cool. You're enjoying. I hope you are done. I hope you are doing that. Now, question number 9. Identify the correct arrangement of periods of Paleozoic era in ascending order in geological time, in ascending order. So over here we have 3 different eras: Paleozoic, Mesozoic and Cenozoic. Okay, Paleozoic, Mesozoic and Cenozoic. Cenozoic is kind of easy. Quaternary, tertiary is there. Quaternary and then tertiary is there. Mesozoic is even more easy. Cretaceous, Jurassic, Triassic. Cretaceous, Jurassic, Triassic. In Jurassic era, you might have seen the movie, right? Jurassic Park, okay, in which dinosaurs are there. So Jurassic time is where the dinosaurs and everything were kind of very dominant. Okay, so this is during Mesozoic era. Now, the question is for Paleozoic. In Paleozoic, you have Silurian, then Devonian, then Carboniferous, then Permian. SDCP. SDCP. Silurian, Devonian, Carboniferous and then what? Permian, my dear champions. So this is the order. We have to see the order. That's why I put it. You have to, where is the cursor? Yes. So Silurian has to come first. So this is an option, this is an option. Let me delete these. After Silurian comes Devonian. Both of them have it. After Devonian comes SDCP. SDCP has to come. So it's PC. No, I want CP. So this is the answer, my dear children. This becomes the answer. I am kind of stamping on everything that comes through my way over here. So Silurian, Devonian, Carboniferous and Permian, SDCP. If you have some tricks to remember it, do let me know in the comment section. Okay, ma'am, this is the way other children also, the friends of yours, can also utilize these tips and tricks. So definitely children, tell me in the comment section. Okay, I had some tricks, somehow I forgot it. You say SD card, no? You say SD card. Okay, for memory card you say SD card, you can remember that. And CP is basically, I don't remember. Yes, I should not stress on that now. Okay, now the version of biogenesis is accepted by majority, okay, as the first form of life arose slowly through evolutionary forces from. So biogenesis, there is a theory of biogenesis, and according to which the first form of life, how do you think it has been originated? Through evolutionary forces from what? This is a fill in the blanks question that has come, my dear children, in the model question paper, so you should be knowing it. So first form of life arose from non-living, what? Tell me, non-living things, organic things, inorganic things, what? What is the answer? The version of biogenesis is accepted by majority as the first form of life arose slowly through evolutionary forces from inorganic molecules. Inorganic molecules does not have the CC bond or CH bonds. For example, you have H2O. It does not have CC, carbon-carbon bond. It does not have carbon-hydrogen bond. And then you have CO2, it does not have CC bond. Then you have CH4, methane. You have NH3, ammonium. All of them, basically they are inorganic molecules and they came together to give out organic compounds. So the version of biogenesis is accepted by majority as the first form of life arose slowly through evolutionary forces from the inorganic molecules. My dear champions, this is a fill in the blanks question. You would be given the option, you have to choose the option and fill it. It's a very easy thing. Just remember it. Next thing, a fish thought to be extinct and caught in South Africa in 1938. So there was a fish who was thought to be extinct, but still it was found in 1938, my dear children. It was coelacanth. It was coelacanth. It was also known as lobe fin. So it good lobes. Okay, fins were like lobes, and it was able to move on land as well. So it was believed that the lobe fin was an evolutionary link between fishes and amphibians. You know, fishes, they are in aquatic region, in water, and amphibians, they live in both water and land. So they are said to have evolved to form the amphibians, the first amphibians. Okay, from them came the first amphibians. So yeah, it was thought to be extinct, but it was there. Coelacanth. Okay, it was coelacanth. Next thing, the process of evolution of different species in a given geographical area. Okay, so this is a given geographical area. Okay, the process of evolution of different species in a given geographical area, starting from a point and literally radiating to other areas of geography, is called this process. I'm not talking about evolution or type of evolution, nothing. This process where basically organisms are evolving and moving around to different regions. They started from a point, but now they are kind of radiating to different areas, different habitats. You call this as adaptive radiation. You call this as what, children? Adaptive radiation. Works. Cool. Chalo. With this, we have completed the 12 one-marker questions, which obviously, as you see, has the highest weightage, which is why I took this much time. Because this chapter anyways would give you 2 MCQ, or basically one marker and 1 MCQ. That's what I saw. One fill in the blanks and 1 MCQ. Now, going ahead with the 2 marker, this is again a model question paper question. Let's see. Potato tubers and sweet potato tubers are result of convergent evolution. Justify the statement. So, for convergent evolution, tell me the needs. For convergent evolution, ancestor has to be different. Ancestor should be different. Function. Remember birds, wings, butterflies, wings. It has to be the same. Function has to be the same. What about anatomical character, anatomical feature? Internally, how are they? Anatomically, they should be again different. So wings of bird, wings of butterfly, totally different, right? Now let's see how can potato tuber and sweet potato come in this particular category. So potato tuber and sweet potato have different families. They originate from different families. So that is one difference. From second difference, we will make it more prominent. Function is the same. Both of them are basically responsible for storage. So this is kind of same. Now anatomically they should be different. So potato tuber basically arises like this. Suppose this is the stem of the potato. The stem originates downwards and gets enlarged over here. From here you might have roots and everything arising, that is a different story. But here the stem itself is responsible for storage. So this is an example of stem tuber. Anatomically it is different now. Why? I am going to tell. Sweet potato, if you see, suppose this is the stem of sweet potato. Okay, this is the stem of sweet potato. Now the roots basically they move out. The roots they enlarge to form the sweet potato. Here the stem is getting enlarged. Here the roots are getting enlarged. So I will call it a root tuber. You tell me anatomically it's same or different. It is different, which is why it is convergent evolution. So they are living in the same habitat. They have to store their food, which is why they are doing that. But they do not have a common ancestor, stuff like that. They anatomically are kind of very different, but their function is same. Function, if it's same, then it's the convergent evolution. And these organs are analogous organs. How you can write the answer? You can write it like this. So potato tubers and sweet potato tubers are the result of convergent evolution. Justification is that different origins. Potato tuber are modified stem from Solanaceae family. Sweet potato tubers are modified roots from Convolvulaceae family. If you do not write the family, it's okay. It's okay. It's not there in your book. Okay. So it's fine. Now similar function are there. Both are adapted for storing nutrients. Okay, independent evolution, they are evolved independently, different organisms. These adaptation evolved separately in unrelated species to serve the same purpose, that is making use in the case of storing nutrients. So this is how you can frame your answers. You can be limited to these, you can be limited to these 2 points. So I took this answer from ChatGPT. You can use ChatGPT in this way. You can give the question, you can ask them to form an answer for you. You will get and understand how you have to form the answer. But sometimes ChatGPT makes you confused. So you should be having enough amount of concept knowledge to go search there as well. Okay, ChatGPT will tell you everything about everything. We do not need everything there. We need things that is there in our NCERT. So make use of that. Now next thing, write a short note on Neanderthal man. Remember Neanderthal man? What was the volume, cranial capacity, children, if you remember? it was 1400 cc. That is the cranial capacity. When did they evolve? 1 lakh to 40,000 years ago. Okay. And next, apart from that, did they bury their dead relatives? Yes, they started burying the dead. They started burying the dead, and then what? Next thing, they started protecting their body, or basically covering their body. Remember Homo sapiens? From Homo erectus, you had Homo sapiens, and then you had Homo neanderthalensis, that is the Neanderthal man. So we have to talk about them, my dear children. Okay, and they were revolving around Europe. So you have to remember each of their features. If you're not, you're going to lose your marks. So please not lose your marks like that. Count, makes your marks count by remembering certain things. Remember in the pharma story, or else if you want, you can tell me, okay, there is a in NEET playlist, evolution, I think part 8 is origin and evolution of man. Go watch it. It's just 30 minutes. It will be really useful for you to remember things. Okay, put it in 2x speed and watch it, no problem. Now, mention the evolutionary significance of the following organisms: shrews and lobfins. So lobfins, I just told you what is the evolutionary significance. Basically, the lobfins were the ones that were kind of a link between what? The fishes and the amphibians. They were able to kind of move around the land also a bit. So lobfins are the ones through which the amphibians have been evolved. So the modern day amphibians that you see, salamanders and frogs, they have tend to be evolved from the lobfins. Now shrews, basically they act as a link between what? As a link between your reptiles and mammals. So that is their evolutionary significance. So we could find their fossils, shrews fossil. Okay, and that was kind of like mammals. So basically they were able to understand, okay, this is how we kind of evolved. This is their evolutionary significance, my dearest little champions. So the shrews is given in a very small point in NCERT, but still question came. Lobfins is, okay, fine, it is given. Lobfin is also known as coelacanth. Coelacanth. Okay, fine. I have the answer, please not worry. So shrews over here are among the earliest mammals and represent the primitive ancestors of modern mammals, providing evidence of mammalian evolution from reptilian ancestors. Now if you are someone who have no idea about how things work, let me tell you. First came fishes, then it's not like first came fishes, there were so many organisms before that also, okay. From fishes came your amphibians, from amphibians came your reptiles, and reptiles basically gave apes, and then that is birds, okay, and also mammals. So in amphibians comes your frog, salamander. In reptile come your snake, lizard that you love. That was sarcasm. I hope you, but you should be loving everyone. Okay, so yes, let's love lizard also. Now we have apes, that is for birds, and then mammals. So basically, shrew was a kind of a connecting link between this and this. Okay, I won't say connecting link, that won't be a correct word to use, but yes, it was there over here. They were considered to be the primitive ones. Okay, and they have shown the evidence of mammalian evolution from the reptilian ancestors. So that was their significance. Now lobfins, they mark a critical step in vertebrate evolution, bridging the gap between fishes and land-dwelling animals, that is amphibians. These animals called lobfins evolved into the first amphibians, my dear children, that lived both on land and water. They were the ancestors of modern day frogs and salamanders. So lobfins were the ancestors of modern day frogs and the salamanders. Okay, they had very strong fins such that they could walk with that fins. Okay, they could move with that, not walk. Don't imagine a fish walking. Basically, they could move with that fins. Now, 2-mark question. What are analogous organ? I already told you what is analogous organ, my dear children. What is analogous organ? The organs that show convergent evolution. During convergent evolution, whatever is being formed, that is analogous organs. So these organs, they have the similar function. They do the similar function. But they are anatomically different. Internal structure, if you see, it is kind of very, very different. Okay, for example, wings of butterfly and the bird Okay, apart from wings of butterfly, I always say wings of butterfly and the bird. Apart from that, the potato tuber and the stem and the sweet potato tuber, that is also something. Okay, apart from that, you have fins. You have fins of dolphin and penguin. Dolphin and penguin. Penguin is a bird, right? Penguin is a bird, but they use their fin for swimming. Dolphin is a mammal. It is using its fin for swimming. So basically both of them are using it in the same thing, that is for swimming. But anatomically this is a mammal and this is what, a bird. So anatomically it will be very much different. Apart from that, if there is something else that you think you can remember, there is eye of octopus. Eye of octopus and eye of mammal. Eye of octopus, for me, I use my eye for seeing things. I hope you also do the same. Okay. Similarly, octopus is also using its eye for watching things only. It's not doing anything else with the eyes over there. So, but again, it is an invertebrate, that is a vertebrate organism. We are vertebrates and the octopus is invertebrate. So basically still they have anatomical features to be very different, but the function of this is same. So these all things, all everywhere wherever you see similar function, but anatomically if they are different, that is the example of analogous organs. How can you write it? You can write it like this: the organs which are different in structure and origin but perform common functions are known as analogous organs. Example is wing of birds, bats and insects, eye of octopus and mammals, flippers. Okay, flippers, you call it flippers, not fins. I'm sorry for the fins, you call them flippers. Now, root modification in sweet potato and stem modification in potato, that is also an example. Works. Cool. Chalo. Next 2-marker question. Enumerate on convergent and divergent evolution with suitable examples in plant. How can you give an example of convergent evolution? I just told you about convergent evolution. You can talk about potato tuber and sweet potato tuber. This is what a stem modification, this is what a root modification. Okay, where both have different ancestors, but they are doing the same function. But they are doing the same, I wrote same function. Does this happen with you also, children? Same function. So same function is there, there is no common ancestor, that means they are showing what? Convergent evolution. Cool, my champions. And then you have to have an example of divergent evolution as well. What do you mean by divergent evolution? Basically they have the common ancestors. They have the common ancestors, but they do not have the similar function. They do not have the similar function. Whatever is there, there is no similar function because of the habitat and everything. So for that I have an example of cucurbita and bougainvillea. Who all likes bougainvillea? Tell me, I might have a very wrong spelling of bougainvillea, please forgive me. If there is anyone who knows English really well, please forgive me, okay. Over here, in the case of cucurbita, what happens is that there are certain nodes over here, buds basically, which would be giving rise to tendrils. Because these tendrils are really very much important, okay, for holding the thing. So that cucurbita basically it has to grow around, okay, so basically it needs tendril support for that. Now bougainvillea, the same place itself, instead of forming a tendril, it forms thorn. So over here if you see, anatomically this plant part was same only, but there are modifications happening up over here which makes it do different functions. One is being used for protection, other one is used for what? Support. So this is an example of divergent evolution. They do not look the same. They do not look the same. Always remember, the one that does not come and look the same, that means you are talking about divergent evolution. So one is a thorn, other one is a tendril. So how can you expect? Now if you want the answer for the same, there is the answer for the same. And what do you call these organs as? Basically you call them as homologous organs. And what do you call this organs as, children? You call them as analogous organs. So A always goes with convergence evolution, H always goes HD and AC. So this is very rich thingy that is happening. Okay, so HD and AC, always remember. Do not go and write homologous organ there, I'll kill you. Now over here, this is how you can write the answer. Different structures evolving for the same function and hence having similarity is called convergent evolution, and these structures are known as analogous structures. The different structures evolving for the same function and these structures are called analogous. Okay. Potato and sweet potato, stem modification, root modification. Divergent evolution is what? The same structure developed along different directions. The same structure was there, but it is moving and developing into different directions because of adaptations. One is staying on the land, other one basically needs protection from all the organisms, which is why it is happening due to different needs, and this is known as divergent evolution, and these structures are known as homologous. Thorn of bougainvillea and tendril of cucurbita. This is how you can give the example of convergent and divergent evolution in the case of plants. March 2019 question. Next comes the 3-marker questions, my dear champions. So for 3-marker questions, this question I've already discussed in 1 marker. You already know it, but let me discuss. Write the salient feature of the following human ancestors. Dryopithecus, Brahmastra, basically I told you, actually this evolved first. Actually this guy evolved first. This guy evolved a bit later, but not too later. Okay. Dryopithecus were the ancestor for apes and monkeys, whereas Brahmastra went ahead with forming human ancestry. Okay. Both of them, they evolved around 15 million years ago, my dear children, and over here I have written it so you can just read it once, because since we have already covered it, I don't want to go ahead, but yeah. So primates called Dryopithecus and Brahmastra were existing. They were hairy and walked in like gorillas. I told you they didn't have they didn't walk like us. They used 4 of the hind limb and 4 limbs, everything to get it to walk. So they walked like gorillas and chimpanzees. Brahmastra was more man-like, where Dryopithecus was more ape-like. So this is the first point about Dryopithecus. Basically, Dryopithecus was more ape-like, whereas Brahmastra was more man-like. Both of them, you can write common thing, that is both of them were hairy. They walked like gorillas and chimpanzees, or you can say they walked with both their hind limbs and 4 limbs. They evolved 15 million years ago. Then comes Australopithecus. Okay, have they mentioned about Australopithecus in the question? Yes. Then came Australopithecus. In Australopithecus, you can write they came around 3 to 4 million years ago. Okay, they came 3 to 4 million years ago. And what is the other feature that they have, children? I told you what is their cranial capacity. It is just 500 cc. It is just 500 cc. Australopithecus were found more in Ethiopia and Tanzania. Okay, their cranial capacity was this much. They were found in Ethiopia and Tanzania, and apart from that, they have evolved almost 3 to 4 million years ago. That is one feature, that is salient feature that you can write about them. Then came Neanderthal man. So Neanderthal man comes later. Let's talk about Homo habilis, the Habibi guy that came first, right? So Habibi basically had a cranial capacity of 650. This was 500. So after that comes 650 to 800 cc of brain. And now Homo habilis, okay, they were kind of neat. They ate fruit. They didn't eat meat. They ate fruit. They said no to meat. Okay, no to meat. And apart from that, they were also tool makers. They used to make tools and everything. Okay, and this happened around 2 million years ago. And then came Homo erectus. Which came around 1.5 million years ago. And what did they do, children? They started eating meat. They were also known as Java men, because a few of them went ahead to Philippines and have got evolved there also. Now Homo erectus gave something else, okay, which is not mentioned in your NCERT, and from there came 2 branches. One is Homo sapiens and the other one is Neanderthal man. Neanderthal man, if this had a cranial capacity, okay, from 800, now the cranial capacity has increased to 900 cc over here in Homo erectus. Now came Neanderthal man, which had a cranial capacity of 1400 cc. I already told you about them, right? Apart from that, they evolved about 1 lakh to 40,000 years ago. years ago. Apart from that, they used to bury, they used to cover their body. From there, one more branch is there. I told you they went to Europe, but there was one more branch, that is Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens, basically the CC is not, cranial capacity is not being mentioned, but it is said they have evolved around 75,000 to 40,000 years ago. So there was a period when both of them existed together. Neanderthal and both of them, they kind of existed together. Okay, that is for Homo sapiens, from which we say that we have finally been evolved. So this is what you can write for each of them. For few points, if you remember the cranial capacity, please remember it. Cranial capacity is important. From here, Australopithecus, it starts. From here starts the ears. So mention the ears whenever, wherever possible. Okay. So Homo habilis, the first human-like hominid, okay, were not having any meat. They were having fruits. Over here, they started eating meat and everything. Cool. Works. So you can write it like this if you want. You can take the help of this particular slide to write it, but over here I have not mentioned the CC, it's mentioned over there, it's 500 CC. Works? Okay, now write a note on adaptive radiation. I told you about adaptive radiation. Adaptive radiation is when from a single point, okay, organisms are moving to different areas. So I will give you a perfect example of this and then you won't forget it ever. So Darwin was in a voyage, sea voyage, that's when he found an island, that is Galapagos Island. In the Galapagos Island, he was seeing that, okay, there were certain finches. Okay, they are birds. When I moved this side, he found that, okay, they are kind of the finches that I found in the middle, okay, they are kind of same, but the beak structure is kind of different. The beak structure is kind of different over here. Then he moved to other side, he found another beak structure. Then he moved to other side. All the other structures were similar, just the beak was getting different. He found something else. Here also he found something else. And he also found one more thing, that is, basically, the things that were found were different in each of the area. Over here, there were so many insects being found. So probably, the beak might have evolved according to eating the insects. For insects, you need this. With this, you cannot eat seed. But with this, you probably can eat seed. So this was an area where the seed was very much. So accordingly, they moved to different habitats and they evolved over there. So from this particular region, they evolved to, they moved to different region, and this is known as adaptive radiation. From one point, if you're moving to different habitats and getting evolved, they moved to different habitats and they're getting evolved over there. That is an example of adaptive radiation. And you might be asking, how, man, that is possible? Basically, probably due to some mutation. Just think, there was, so 4 of them went there. Only one had a beak like this, so it was able to survive there. So it stayed there, it had the food there. 4 of them went here. Only one was able to survive over here, which had the thing, which had the mutation, which had the difference. So nature was selecting it, nature selected it. So it stayed there forever. So that is how they have evolved. This is an example of adaptive radiation. Okay, fine, cool. Okay, now they become an example of divergent evolution also. From one point they are moving to different areas. Over here they have different beak structures, but anatomically it's kind of same organism, same ancestor. You get it? Same with the marsupial that we saw. Okay, we had a marsupial. From the marsupials you got different kangaroo, this and that and everything. From the placental mammals you again got something else. So this is all example of adaptive radiation. And how can you write the answer? You can write your answer like this. The evolution of different species in a given geographical area. Please mention a given geographical area, talking about one particular geographical area. Starting from its original character and radiating to other geographical area is known as adaptive radiation. Example, finches in the Galapagos Island. So, during Darwin's journey to Galapagos Island, he observed small black birds known as Darwin's finches. The finches were diverse in their food habitats like the original, from seed-eating features to many other forms with altered beaks arose, enabling them to becoming insectivorous and vegetarian finches. So there were different type of finches. Few ate insect, few became vegetarians. So how can you write it simply? Basically the finches, they moved to different habitats in a particular geographical area, and according to the habitat they kind of evolved into different type of organisms as well. Some were insectivorous, some became what? Vegetarian finches. Okay, so they kind of evolved. Now, adaptive radiation in Australian marsupials. I told you about marsupials also. So, a number of marsupials, each who are marsupial children. Marsupials also give birth like mammals, but marsupials do not give like a fully grown fetus outside. No. So, basically you have seen kangaroo. Kangaroo basically they give out the baby and it is not fully developed. Then it completes its development inside the pouch of the kangaroo. Inside the pouch of the kangaroo, then it becomes developed fully. But in the case of human beings, have you seen that one baby is born, after that you provide nourishment outside, right? And it is a fully grown fetus that comes out. So that is an example of placental mammals, where placenta provides all the nourishment. Over here in the case of marsupial, things are kind of different. So a number of marsupials, each different from others, evolved from an ancestral stock, but all within the Australian continent. So within the Australian continent, all of them moved to different areas. They moved into different organisms. Example, Tasmanian wolf, tiger cat, marsupial cat, kangaroo, wombat, sugar glider, everything. So you have to remember a few of their name as well. Tiger cat, okay, marsupial rat, tiger cat, okay, you can remember like that. Adaptive radiation in placental mammals, they also did the same. In Australia, the same place, I told you, two different organisms were moving together, and that's why they had similar features, right? In Australia, adaptive radiation is exhibited where placental mammals are evolved into varieties, each of which appears to be similar to a corresponding marsupial. Now, example is wolf, Tasmanian wolf, marsupial. Okay, wait, I will be showing you that. So you don't have to write everything, just write about finches and just talk about marsupials. That is more than enough. So I told you the placental mammal also, they evolved into this. Australian mammals also evolved into this. Marsupials also evolved into this. There was mole over here, this marsupial mole. Mumbat, anteater. So anteater, they are kind of similar, no? Look wise, they are kind of similar. So they have evolved from different ancestors, but since they have come in a same habitat, they have common features. Okay, Jasmine ma'am. Where are we, children? We are here. So you don't have to write everything, write in your own language, write until here, that's enough, okay? Do not go beyond it. So just a 3-marker question. Use your time wisely. Whenever you're writing an answer, underline your answers as well. Now, next thing. With the help of a neat label diagram like this, explain Stanley Miller's experiment in support of chemical evolution. What do you mean by chemical evolution? Basically, according to chemical evolution, we arose from organic life forms. They came from organic compounds, my dear children. Okay, for example, organic compounds such as amino acid, nucleotide, and things like that. So we came like that. But how can we explain this? How can we explain the same thing? So basically, Stanley Miller, okay, Oparin and Haldane were the people who said this. Oparin and Haldane were the people who said this. How can you remember where are they from? Hero. So this I copied from another teacher. Due credits to her. So H for Haldane. Haldane was from England. Russia. Oparin was from Russia. Okay, hero. So basically, they said that there were certain inorganic compounds in the atmosphere. There were certain inorganic compounds in the atmosphere such as H2O, such as CO2, such as ammonia, such as methane, which were there. And in the presence of a reducing atmosphere, there is no oxygen. Where there is no oxygen, in the presence of reducing atmosphere and way too much high temperature, what was happening? These inorganic compounds were giving rise to organic compounds like amino acids and nucleotides. Now, if you do not know, I'll tell you, amino acids, they come together to form proteins. Nucleotides, they come together to form DNA and your RNA. Together, if they come together, cannot they form a living organism? Any simple living organism they can form, right? So this was said by Oparin and Haldane, but there was no one to prove it. So there came the role of Stanley Miller. So what he did was, he made a structure like this, where this is boiling water. This is boiling water. Okay, and I hope you remember, or I hope you know, that the earth basically was just a molten mass. Okay, and this particular molten mass gave out water vapor and everything. gave out water vapor and lot of things. So that was there, and sun was there, and you know, sun was there. So sun acted on this and lots of things happened. So basically this is boiling water. From here you get the water vapor, okay, and then you put 2 electrodes over here for the temperature. You turn it on, and basically it increases the temperature and everything inside the setup. Now over here you see the gases, that is CH4. CH4 stands for what, children? Methane. Okay, it stands for methane, yeah. And then you have NH3, that is ammonia, and then you have H2O, that is water, and basically H2, that is a gas, hydrogen gas itself. Now you have reducing temperature, there is no oxygen over here, okay, and basically the temperature is also kind of high, okay. Everything is kind of similarly what we think it was initially when the earth was being formed. Now he found that all of the thing that was being formed over here went and assimilated at this particular area. And when he examined this particular area, he found that there was water containing the organic compound. So how did this organic compound came? When there was a combination of this plus a very closed setup. You see vacuum pump, it's a very closed setup that he found. So this was the theory of chemical evolution, my dear children. So we have basically evolved from organic compounds, and these organic compounds came from inorganic compounds under reducing atmosphere and basically high temperature. So the temperature that was being maintained over here was 800 degrees Celsius. Was 800 degrees Celsius. So that was the condition later when the earth was actually being formed. That was the actual condition. It was too hot in there. Okay, so we remember Big Bang happening over there, Big Bang theory, big blast happening over there, earth becoming a molten mass and stuff like that. So this is how we have sent to be evolved. And how can you write the same thing? So in 1953 year, S.L. Miller, okay, Stanley Miller, an American scientist, created similar condition in laboratory scale. He designed an electric discharge closed flask experiment stimulating primitive atmosphere. Okay, stimulating primitive atmosphere as in creating a situation like the primitive atmosphere that was there using an apparatus. This experiment is evidence in support of chemical evolution of life. He created electric discharge in a closed flask containing, okay, you can start writing from here. This is the first point that you can write, then you can write this. He created electric discharge in a closed flask containing CH4, H2, NH3 and water vapor at 800 degrees Celsius. He observed the formation of what? Amino acids. In similar experiments, others observed formation of sugar, nitrogen bases, pigments and fats. All of this thing were observed later on. Analysis of meteorite as in some curtains that come from the sky, right? So over there also, if you analyze that, you see similar things happening on the top of it. That means somewhere something is being formed elsewhere as well. So analysis of meteorite content also revealed similar compounds, indicating that similar processes are occurring elsewhere in the space. This experiment justified that organic molecules could be formed from the primitive gases on the primordial earth, as in the primitive earth. These molecules have gradually evolved into more complex molecules and ultimately developed into the living organism. Okay, and please mention where did the organic molecules came from, children? These organic molecules basically came from what? This. From all these things. Okay. I hope you are able to understand what I am trying to say. Chalo. This is the last question as far as I remember. State the Hardy-Weinberg principle. Explain any 4 factors affecting Hardy-Weinberg principle. I already explained it to you, but still try to recollect. What do you mean by Hardy-Weinberg principle? Hardy-Weinberg principle says that in a population, the frequency of alleles would be stable or would be constant generation after generation. Capital A will have this frequency, small a will have this frequency. But was this followed? It was not followed. There were so many factors which affected Hardy-Weinberg principle. First was gene flow, the other one was genetic drift, then was natural selection. All of these things were there. And how can you frame your answers? Any 4 you have to explain, right? Any 4. So pick any 4 and you can explain. Okay, so this principle says that allele frequency in a population are stable and is constant from generation to generation. Gene flow, I told you, if there is an area In this area, you have capital A, small a. I decide to move out. I was having capital A. The frequency of this allele is being changed over here. Someone else decided to came in that had small a. That means now you have more small a rather than capital A. Again, the gene frequency has changed. So gene flow, the sum total of genes occurring in sexually reproducing organism. The transfer of genes between population of different gene pool, which differs genetically but can interbreed, is called gene flow. What do you mean by that? Simple definition. This is a population of America. This is a population of India. I am moving from America to India, or basically India to America. This is different gene pool. This is a different gene pool. Okay. Basically, when this movement occurs between group of same species, okay, they are coming over here, one is getting married over here, they are having kids, the gene pool is totally being changed. So this difference, the transfer of genes between the population of different gene pool, which differs genetically they are different, okay, but can interbreed, is known as gene flow. So genetically it's B and small b over here. So this guy came over here, now we have B and A over here, and A and small b over there, you get it? So these are the changes that happens, this is known as gene flow. Then we have genetic drift. As I told you, I am walking and I stamped on the green ones. I stamped on the beetles which were green in color, okay, unknowingly, and the red ones survived. So I stamped over here, they died. So I am basically changing the gene frequency over here, but this is occurring by chance. So it is a random changes in gene frequency in a small population purely as chance, is known as genetic drift. Mutations are what? Spontaneous changes that occurs anytime in the gene. So anytime, if any spontaneous changes are occurring, obviously the gene frequency would be changing. Okay. Now, genetic recombination is there. Before that, we will talk about natural selection. So it is a process of selection of better adapted individuals. So obviously, if I am favoring the white colored moth initially, so I am changing the gene frequency, there will be more white colored moth. Now later, when industrialization happened, the white colored moth died, the nature selected the black ones, so the gene frequency again changed over here. This is an example of what? Natural selection. So it is a process of selection of better adapted individuals with useful variations in the nature. Cool. So this will obviously affect the frequency. So the better one will be surviving whatever frequency, whatever allele it had. So this will change over time according to the variation that this particular organism has. Now genetic recombination is when basically, you know, gametes and all, if this is a chromosome, this is a chromosome, they interchange their content. Leading to differences, So suppose there was a gene over here for small a, there was a gene over here for capital A, or something like that. And now this gene went in a gamete, and now it is fusing with another gene like this. Now the frequency of AA would be more, because this gene has been selected and the recombination basically had happened. So it is a process of formation during gametogenesis, resulting in the formation of new combination of character in the progenies. So these new characters were not found initially, but now you are able to find it. So that is one big thing. So these are the things that affect the Hardy-Weinberg principle. Okay, just write one-liner explanation of all of them. It's just a 3-marker. Don't go out writing all the things. This PDF will be provided to you. Okay, just fill in the form that is given in the description box. Okay, for WhatsApp channel, there it will be provided to you. So do not have to worry about anything. Just frame your own sentences along to your knowledge and understanding. I have given bigger answers. Why? Because you can select it for yourself. You know better. Okay, if I have written smaller answer, you might forget things. So you can choose better out of this. You can make your own notes later on. Okay, so these are the questions that have been coming from the chapter that is evolution, my dearest little champions. Now, one very important thing, as I told you, for those people who came in the lecture, joined late. So there is a PU2 Success Blueprint series happening up here, and it is a paid course. You have to pay around 599 rupees, but it would be really worthy because we are going to provide you 12 mock tests. Okay, there will be 4-part test. 4-part test means there will be different subjects coming together in one question paper, and there will be 8 full-length individual tests. That means one question paper will be having one subject only. So what all subjects are being covered? Physics, chemistry, mathematics, and apart from that, there is biology as well as CS. You can choose either of them. And it's not just we are providing questions, we will be providing you solutions as well. So there will be video solutions and there will be doubt clarification classes as well. So if you're someone who is interested in that, you can basically find the link in the description box, click on that, my dearest little champions. You will find everything up there. Now, if you think that this particular video was helpful for you, what you have to do? You have to tell me, ma'am, I am going to study this chapter really hard. I am going to cover everything that I've done. So just say in the comment section that, ma'am, I think I'm done with evolution. Ma'am, I think I'm 100% done with evolution. That is what you have to say. So just one more suggestion from my end. After listening to the video, just go through your NCERT once. It will be really helpful for you to recapitulate things. You might find a lot of other things, but these are the repeated contents, so which is why it is there over here. And I wish and I hope that you understood this. If you understood this, do let me know. If you have doubt, do let me know. So that's all. Stay blessed everyone. Lots and lots of love, and subscribe to our channel if you like this video. Bye bye. Take care.